side streets and main streets, the route they travel may be different, but their destination is the same. This bus stop on Hillside Avenue in Victoria is a popular place. Most mornings, commuters come and go every few minutes, heading to school just a few kilometers away. In Saanich, another group, heading the same way. Thousands of students rely on transit to get to the University of Victoria and Camosun College every day. But some students say they can't rely on the bus to get them there on time.
I'm late for class, so. But this, if I catch this bus here, I'm there before 8 o'clock, so.
So you're having to build about an extra 20 minutes, half an hour into your schedule?
Yeah.
It's annoying. It makes everybody frustrated. People don't like waiting for the bus and they get uptight.
The issue is buses packed with passengers. Students lining up only to be told it's full and they get left behind. The University of Victoria Student Society calls it pass-ups and says it's happening all the time.
On certain routes, it can happen every day. Between September and January, the Bus Drivers Union counted over 20,000 pass-ups in total. So it's gone from becoming a rare problem to one that's quite consistent throughout the year and on certain routes.
With teachers on strike this week and fewer high school students taking transit, UVic and Camosun students have an easier ride. But as soon as school is back in session, they figure they'll be left behind again.
It's really frustrating. As a student who takes the bus myself and who also pays into the UPass program, I often have to plan to get to school an hour, 2 hours before when my class would actually start, because otherwise I'm going to be waiting at the bus stop at a time when everybody's waiting and it just drives on by.
Now a plan is in the works at BC Transit. Students and passengers are hoping will solve all of these problems. BC Transit says it's found some financial savings and is hoping to reinstate 7,000 hours of service cut last year. 5,000 hours of that will go to pass-ups.
Our hope is that once the Transit Commission has been fully appointed, that our recommendations will be approved and accepted, and when that's the case, 5,000 extra hours added to those congested routes will certainly make a difference for some of the people who have been left behind.
It's good news for students and anyone else who relies on the number 4, 14, or 26 bus to get around.
7,000 hours of service were cut a few years ago, which was the reason that we started to see increased numbers of pass-ups. So with the increase of 5,000, that's an important first step, but we're hoping to see dedicated HOV lanes as well as a light rail transit lane as well as more buses on the road in general.
But in order to move forward with the improvements BC Transit is proposing, a vote on the budget is needed, and that can't happen until the Greater Victoria Regional Transit Commission is back to 7 members. 4 commissioners were lost after last fall's municipal elections, and the Ministry of Transportation has yet to replace them.
We're coming up against some big crunch times. The Ministry of Transportation tells us at any moment they hope to have those vacancies filled. A meeting will be called very swiftly after that. Again, I have no time frame because this is above us.
It's mostly around routes and rates.
It's a discussion that gets Saanich Mayor and Transit Commissioner Frank Leonard all fired up. He says he's been through this before, and it should be no surprise to the province that new members need to be appointed to the commission.
I'm disappointed that the government's taken so long, and I think they're probably a bit embarrassed as well that it's taken this long to move it through the system. What it points to, though, is that the system is out of date. The governance system is out of date. I've referred to it as a feudal system where the Crown shall appoint 7 people from 5 jurisdictions.
It's a concern Leonard has been vocal about for a while now. He says the province shouldn't be appointing members to the commission. Instead, decisions should be made by elected members of the Capital Regional District. Right now, he says, the system is broken.
For example, either the mayor of Esquimalt or the mayor of Oak Bay. Well, one of them is out of the loop for 3 years on transit, and it's very important to both of their communities. Only one representative from the peninsula, so 2 municipalities are shut out. And only one from the western communities, where there's 6 municipalities in an electoral area, so 6 of them are shut out of transit for perhaps as much as 3 years.
But he is hopeful change isn't far down the road. The province and the Auditor General are both reviewing BC Transit, and Leonard says the Transportation Minister has agreed to include the hows and whos of decision-making in the review. The Auditor General report is expected this spring. In Victoria, I'm Nikki Iwanishin for The Daily.